Well, what should I record next? Well, here's a basic rock. Basic figures for basic Hey guys, Metal Driver here, back with another WWE review. Today I'll be looking at Basic Series 125, The Rock. On the back of the packaging you see an image of Rock, his signature moves, the type of wrestler he is, powerhouse, and the rest of the figures that are in this wave. Alright, so you might be wondering, why am I reviewing a Basic Series figure when I don't review these? Well, I rarely pick basic figs up, but when I do, it's usually because they have a good head sculpt, and despite this head sculpt not being brand new, there is something intriguing about it, which I will get into in the review. So let's not waste any more time, let's go ahead and open this up and take a closer look at The Rock. Alright, and here is The Rock out of the packaging, and he doesn't come with any accessories except for this vest, because he is a basic figure. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the head sculpt. Alright, so looking at the head sculpt, this is not brand new as I mentioned. We have received this before, way back early on in the Mattel days, and they reused this head sculpt many times. So we've seen this with Legends Series 3 Rock, Series 47.5 Rock, and a couple others. Now what makes this head sculpt nice is that this one has the TrueFX printing, which those did not. Now you might be wondering, now wasn't there another one that had the TrueFX printing with this head sculpt? Yes, that was Elite 69 SmackDown Edition Rock that had the gold lettering on the trunks. So actually putting those two side by side, you can see that both have really great detail on the head sculpt. The TrueFX printing really makes the head sculpt stand out and pop, whereas if you look at an older version without that TrueFX printing, yeah, it looks really generic. And if you notice right here, the sideburns are really short. In fact, they're non-existent. Same thing here on the Legends Rock. Whereas the SmackDown Edition, that one has long sideburns. So you might be wondering, why so fixated on the sideburns? Why do you keep bringing that up? Well, because this one right here is inaccurate. So that was a gripe that I had with Elite 69, is that they gave him the gold lettering trunks, which was the trunk design that he wore in the 2000s. He introduced that specific font design with the gold back in the early summer, late spring of 2000. By that point, he did not have long sideburns like this. So this always bothered me that this figure was inaccurate, whereas this new Basic Series 125, if you look at the sideburns, they have this mid-length sharp point to it. So comparing that with one of the older Rocks, as you can see, this one pretty much has no sideburns, this one has the longer pointed ones. And this is something that I have been waiting on Mattel to give us for a long time, because this is the Rock's look from late 99, and throughout the year 2000 he had that style of sideburns. So this is the head sculpt that should be on that Elite 69 figure. So honestly, this is really the reason why I bought this. So that way I can swap this head, put it on Elite body, and have that accurate version of 2000 Rock. So I did buy a couple of these, so I'm going to show off how this head sculpt looks on those Rock bodies. But in the meantime, the paint looks really good, the lips look good, the eyes look good, the eyebrows look good. Well, the eyes are painted well, but it does look like they're a bit off-centered. I like how there's some slight stubble around the face, so nice touch there. Then again, he's got these mid-length pointed sideburns. Then looking at the body, he's got a super chiseled torso, which is not accurate to this version of The Rock. This is more in line with his current modern look, but it's a basic figure, not a big deal. He does have this vest, which is removable. So this is nice, so you can put this on an Elite figure, which again, I will show that off a bit later. He's got the Brahma Bull tattoo, which looks pretty good. Painted belt buckle on the belt, and then standard black legs that are designed to look like slacks, so we have seen this many times before. Alright, then going over the articulation, this is a basic figure, so the articulation is limited. Head's on a ball joint, goes not really high up at all, does go slightly down. His head can turn side to side, and it can slightly tilt. Shoulder has a hinge, so it goes really high up. Can rotate all the way around. There is no bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow and a swivel at the elbow. Swivel and hinge at the wrist. No ab crunch, but he has a waist swivel. Hinges at the hips, so the legs go that high up and that far back. So if you want The Rock to do a big E impression, you can do that. Single jointed knee, which is pretty tight like most basic figures. Then no hinge at the ankle, but there is a swivel right there. Alright, and here's Basic Series 125 Rock next to the Best of the Attitude Era Elite Rock figure. And this figure originally had a head sculpt similar to that one, just without the sideburns. I did swap the head with the Rock and Sock 2-pack Rock, so it looks a little more accurate, a little better. Then here's the Best of the Attitude Era Rock with the basic 125 vest. So now you have an elite version of that same figure, so that looks really cool in my opinion. And then here's Basic Series 125 with Elite 69 SmackDown Edition Rock with the swapped head. Here's the Series 125 head sculpt on the right, next to the original version on the left. And then here we have a second side-by-side comparison. Here's the basic one next to the Rock and Sock 2-pack with the swapped head of Series 125. Then here are the two same figures with the original head sculpt on the left and the Series 125 head sculpt on the right. And here is another side-by-side comparison of the two figures. And now the reason why I swapped the head on this one is because during his Rock and Sock run, he actually had those shorter, mid-sized, pointed sideburns. So this is a more accurate version of this Rock in my opinion. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Basic Series 125, The Rock? Well, as I said, as someone who doesn't collect basic figures, I only pick them up when I see a good head sculpt, and this one had the head sculpt that I've been wanting and looking for such a long time. So for that reason, I'm happy to have this. Now, just as a basic figure alone, I mean, they're basic figures. They're not really geared towards the type of collector like myself. They're usually geared more towards kids, so I'm sure as a toy for a kid, they probably won't mind and they'll be happy to have a civilian attire Rock. Do I think other elite collectors will like this figure? Well, that depends. If you want the most accurate version of The Rock from 2000 or late 1999, then I say yeah, pick it up. That way you can swap the heads. As you can see, the Rock figures that I have behind the basic. So I like that I finally have an accurate version of 2000 Rock here, and this one with late 1999 Rock. Because again, that time when he teamed up with Mankind, that's how his sideburns looked. Then I'm also glad that I can use the vest and put it on an elite figure. Then I also like how I can use the vest and put it on an elite figure, like how I have with the Best of Attitude Era Rock, as you can see in the back. So if you're someone like myself who wants that most accurate version, I say pick it up. Perhaps you didn't even know that he had those type of sideburns. And if you're just learning that through this video, then I'm glad I was able to help with this comparison. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. If you want a chance to get a shout out in the next video, leave a comment down below just like Viva la Raza commented stating that they loved the skit at the beginning of my previous video, which thank you, I appreciate that. I was trying to add something a little bit more. So if you like that type of stuff, let me know. Follow me on social media so you can be up to date with all my wrestling figure photography, and I'll see you next time.